for saving Massey loyalty points when you are checking out. Now that's a good reason to visit us. Massey Stores, our family, serving your family.
Veterans in sports and courts ready cash come together for a cause. Join us at the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground on November 5th and 6th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. for the Kick for a Cure Championship. Come see your favorite teams battle for the Veterans Pink Cup. It's going to be a weekend of exciting football, fun, and entertainment with live performances, good food, and the famous Tipsy Trailer. Admission only $15 and goes towards supporting the St. Lucia Cancer Society. Kick for a Cure is brought to you by Quartz Ready Cash, Caribbean Alliance, Sports St. Lucia Inc., St. Lucia Distillers, Harris Handling and Logistics Services, and South Shoe Store. Kick for a cure worth fighting for.
Casualty 911, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. with the consultant. Health is not merely the absence of diseases. It is your social, economic, physical, spiritual, and mental well-being. Just imagine you on 88.5 Super FM, talking, questioning, sharing your experience, information, education, entertainment, news, instructions, advice on diabetes, high blood pressure, strokes, menopause, AIDS, pregnancy, sex.
Sex? Did you say sex?
As prescribed, take your medication, exercise, and diet. On 88.5 Super FM, tell a friend, call your neighbor. Casualty 911 is on.
And of course, good morning. We have 5 minutes after the hour of 10 o'clock. If it's between the hours of 10 and of course 11 o'clock, Casualty 911 is on. Monday's edition. Of course, today's the 24th. Slowly saying goodbye to October. Yeah, I see all the Scorpios celebrating. Yeah, boy, Scorpio season. Yeah, all right. Okay. Hey, my name is Erlen Simforia, and I'm here with Miss Wilson. And of course, she's here with a guest as well. Okay. So yes, it's a Monday. Miss Wilson, welcome inside Casualty 911.
Thank you, Erlen. I must admit, it's a while we have not been here.
Yes, sir.
Well, I have not been here for, it's always a pleasure to be there. It's a pleasure to be back. Let me just say good morning to all our listeners. I know some person said they have missed me. I'm happy that you've been keeping tabs. This month, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we're asking all women to go out there, get your breast checked, learn how to do your self-breast examination. We're advocating that you go to your wellness center, speak to your nurse if you might see any signs of concern to you. And, just take care of your overall health. That's all we're asking. A few announcements. Pediatric Pfizer vaccine is available in our region. You can go to your wellness center and speak to our nurses about it if you are interested for your children. And today, the Eton's Wellness Center is having an activity at Mercyville, Myers Bridge. They're asking all ladies to come in. They're going to have self-breast examination being taught to you, how to do your breast examination. The nurse will do the examination. She will make sure that she sees everything and tell you how to do it, and she will show you. And persons that are interested, they will do the breast examination also. It will be available. So come on, all ladies.
Fellas too, eh?
Yes.
Guys
Men do get breast cancer. Let me not exclude Erlen.
Yes.
My sincere apologies to all our males. You can come to definitely, and it will be a wonderful thing to have you here with us. Again, it will give other men encouragement to come out, as well as other women. If men are there, why can't we women take responsibility for our health too?
So go together.
Yeah, partners can go together. That is a good initiative, Erlen. Thank you so very much. And these things are always wise that you come together with your spouse. It encourages each other, and it provides support also. So today we have a very interesting topic. And let me just say this: um, mental health is one that has always been close to my heart. I must admit, over the past few months, Erlan, we have been having quite a few topics, and it has always been quite interesting. And a lot of persons have, stopped and asked me about the different issues where they can get the help. And I'm so happy that for this entire year, we have been having different topics on mental health. And today, it's no, I mean, for this month, we want to continue. And don't forget, this month is Mental Health Awareness Month. And we are happy to have our guest speaker today. And our guest speaker have been working in our region for a number of years now. And it's just sad that she will no longer be in our region. Right, Nurse? I'm not seeing Nurse.
Yeah, nurse, can you hear us?
Nurse, can you hear us?
I think
Hi, yes, I can.
All right.
And it is very sad that she will no longer be working in our region. I mean, she has been very instrumental in creating mental health awareness in our community. And Nurse, you have been working in our region for how long? For how many years now?
9 or 10 years.
That's a very, very long time. And so we're hoping that this will not be the last time you will be on the radio program or the last time you will be with us, because again, your expertise, your knowledge is quite beneficial to us in the community. And sometimes when the person actually leave you, that's when you see how important they are, and how beneficial they are to you in the region. So I just want to say, Nurse, you're on now. I'll allow you to introduce yourself again to our listeners and then speak about the topic for today.
Okay. Hi, good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me. My name is Alicia St Juste. I'm a mental health psychiatric nurse practitioner. Today
We're not hearing you, Nurse.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not hearing?
Yeah, go ahead, nurse. Sorry about that.
Okay. Yes, I'm Alicia St Juste, mental health psychiatric nurse practitioner. Today we're going to talk about mental health. As Miss Wilson said, October is Mental Health Awareness Month. And just like she encouraged you all to go to do your breast checks and your pap smears, prostate, we also encouraging persons to go out and check their mental health, do this different screenings, go to talk to somebody, go to see the psychologist. We're also encouraging that. So the topic will be just mental health. Thank you.
Nurse.
Yes, you're not hearing me?
Yes, loud and clear now.
Okay.
Erlan was playing with the system. That's why I wasn't hearing you. Nurse, before you start with the general topic of mental health, just give us a little rundown about, some of the services that is being offered right here. I know we have said that, but sometimes different persons listen to our program at different times. Just a quick, rundown of which services are being offered at our wellness centers.
Okay. There's a mental health clinic at each of the wellness centers on island. So each center has a mental health clinic. You can go in, talk to the nurse to make an appointment. The services we offer medication monitoring, prescription of medication, assessments, crisis intervention, counseling, health teaching and health promotion, mental health promotion. We also do visits to the schools, to the workplaces. Visits are done. We also do home visits. We act as a bridge between hospital and community. So persons coming out into the community, we follow up on them also. So these are some of the services. We have mental health psychiatric nurse practitioners. We have community mental health nurses. We have a psychiatrist. We have a psychotherapist. And we also have a mental health social worker.
Thank you, Nurse. Not too long ago, we had most persons introducing themselves to the community. So, I mean, if you really want to know all these professions within the mental health profession, you could always go back on the radio program and you'll hear everybody introducing themselves, the different designations, as well as what they do within our community. So, Nurse, I will pass on to you to tell us a little bit about mental health this morning.
Okay. Mental health. When we talk about a mental health, when most persons say mental health, they say not me. That's not for me. But mental health is about our mind. It's how we think, how we feel, how we behave, how we interact with other persons. So mental health is all about us. In our day-to-day life, our mental health is affected. We may have we may be running late, so we get a bit anxious. We may not sleep well. We cannot concentrate, or we cannot respond as quickly. So different little things affect our mental health. But we, as a whole, most persons are resilient. They have good coping skills and they're able to bounce back. But some persons, after a whole lot of adversity, they may end up going along the line, end up having mental health issues where they need counseling or medication or even hospitalization. So mental health is not just a state to say I'm mentally healthy. It's a continuum. It's a line where you shift along the line day by day. But we have to try to remain midway to the line. And to do that, we have to learn to talk about our feelings, how we feel. So if something is affecting us, we should be able to express it. We also have to know our feelings, what makes us angry, what makes us sad, what makes us happy. So if we are able to tell when we're going to be angry, should be able to control that, bring ourselves to another place so that we don't do things that we may regret. So we have to talk about our feelings. Take a vacation. Sometimes we go on working. We have to stop at a point and take a vacation, take time to relax. We also have to work, do a meaningful work, eat healthy. Like just like they say, there's no good health without good mental health. So there's no good mental health without good physical health. So we eat healthily, we exercise, keep active. We have to accept who we are. Sometimes we may figure that we too tall, too short, but we have to accept who we are. What we can change, we try to change it, but what we cannot change, we accept it. Ask for help. We also have to ask for help. If we need help, we should ask for help. Because if we keep things bottled up, after time, they would explode. So whenever we need help, we should ask for help. Keep in touch. Our friends and our family, that's our support system. Most times we're so busy, we go ahead and we forget about our friends and our family. We don't call them, things are nice for us, but when things go wrong, we look for our friends and our family, but they're not behind us. So as we go forward, we bring our friends and our families with us. So if something happens, we don't fall back too far because our support system is close at hand. Help others. It's said that when you volunteer, you help others, it gives you a sense of fulfillment, just like apart from paid work. So when we say we help others, sometimes we say we don't have, but sometimes little as we have, sometimes we have a mango tree or cherry tree, and we know the lady have how many children and she doesn't have any juice or something. We can just give from what we have. We can give from what these little things, ways of helping, and also practice our faith. We all need something to believe in. So practicing our faith as another way of keeping mentally healthy, and practicing gratitude. We have to be grateful for whatever we have, grateful for how things go, grateful for what we have. Gratitude. So at the end of each day, we should be looking at least 5 to 10 things that we're grateful for that happened to us for the day. So we keep on practicing the gratitude. We find we go through the day being grateful and always looking for the better point of whatever that is happening to us. That these are some things that we can do to help strengthen our mind and to build our resilience. Okay.
Nurse, I'm so glad you said that because I think every day in our everyday lives, like you said, when things go right, we tend to forget about others and we concentrate solely on ourselves. And when things go bad, that's the time we know every and anybody. And that's when we call on every and anybody for help and assistance. I'm so glad you said that because you see that in our everyday lives, in our communities, and so on. Even in our workplaces, we see these things. And I'm so grateful that you said that because people tend to forget sometimes where they come from And when they reach a certain level in their life, they tend to forget about other people that are, not so fortunate. So I am so happy that you said that even by giving a little, that means you're going a long way. And thus, I want to speak a little bit about, mental health within our workplaces, because a lot of times we go through so much at work and it's quite overwhelming because of the workload that is being placed upon us, as well as, don't forget, we have the family life to deal with, and many people do not know, or they probably just cannot manage their time, or they are lacking different coping mechanisms, and a lot of persons tend to feel overwhelmed, depressed. They're going through different issues mentally. Can you guide us a little bit about some of the coping mechanisms for persons with an everyday hectic work life as well as that family life to deal with? Or what kind of help do you think that, just they can provide, or our services can provide to them?
Okay, we can work life. We have to look for a balance between work and home. We have to try as much as possible not to bring home to work and not to bring work home. You have to try that. Some of the things that we can try: time management. We can try little things we can do, especially if it's the stress of the morning. We can try to prepare some stuff before, so the morning we're not rushing. We're not rushing to get to work. So if we have the kids to prepare, maybe prepare the uniforms before, prep the meals before. So these are ways that will take it off a little time off for the morning for us to come to work. If you know that the traffic is going to be heavy at 7:30, so at least leave home at least 7:25, so we don't get stuck in the traffic. Try to do the work when we get the work. Try to do the work on time, not just leave it for the last minute, so we don't rush. Ask for help. Talk to your supervisor. Ask for help. Take your vacation. Sometimes we leave our vacation behind and we let it pile up. Take your vacation. If you're feeling stressed out or burnout, you should take 1, 2 or 2 days from your vacation. And another thing is self-care. Self-care, where you take time for yourself. You plan self-care into your monthly or weekly routine. You make sure you plan with it. Self-care is planned. So if there's a time you take for yourself to go on a little outing, a little time just to relax your mind, you do that also. And when you're going through your day of the work and your work day and things get too stressful for you, you can practice some grounding exercises. There are a few of them you can check out on YouTube or online. There's a one where the grounding exercise where you look for around, you stop, you do your deep breathing. That's one way. And while you're doing your deep breathing, you can look and see 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell. So that will help you relax you and bring you back to the moment. You can also, if you're at the desk, you can take off your shoe, put your feet on the ground, feel the ground. If it's soft, if it's cool, do your deep breathing. These things will bring you back and relax you a bit. Some of these things.
I want to ask the nurse a question. Why do people hesitate to seek help? Or is there any taboo around mental health
Or stigma?
or stigma attached to it as well?
There's a lot of stigma and discrimination when it comes to mental health. That is one of the reasons person don't seek for help, because from the time persons have mental health, they say it is not me. They think of the homeless persons on the streets. There's a negative connotation to mental health. Mental health. So persons do not want to seek help or take a long time to seek help because they don't want person to discriminate against them. The discrimination, persons may they figure they may lose their job, the friends will look at them differently. But persons have to know that mental illness is just like any other illness, just like diabetes, just like high blood pressure, just that it affects the mind. So the same way when persons get sick from the high blood pressure, persons get mentally ill, they take their medication, they take the rest, and they bounce back. So it's just like any illness. So talking about that stigma and discrimination, power this month for World Mental Health Day, October 10th, they launched an they launched a stigma reduction campaign where hashtag do your share to support mental health. So they want us to talk about mental health. If we talk about mental health, if everybody talking about mental health, if workplaces plant mental health days, then mental health be more of a open topic and persons will not hide away their feelings or seek
True.
care earlier. But
So
there's a
here-
lot of stigma and discrimination. And other persons tend to believe before they would accept mental health, mental illness, they will say that it's something somebody do them, So first of all, they would go to the faith-based healers and all of these things before they would end up at the medical facility.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think mental health awareness prevents suicides?
I guess it can aid in suicide prevention by letting us be more aware of the signs and symptoms on where we can get help. And it is not just about, it's not just us, that there's other people out there and there's help. So it can help in a way of giving hope to persons.
All right, thank you very much. Imagine when you have a person suffering from dementia, of course, depression as well, all that contributing to mental health.
Yes.
Anyways, continue. Go ahead.
Okay. Nurse, throughout the community, and I like to bring back to the community level because that's where we work and so on. What advice would you give persons? I mean, that has mentally ill persons within their family and friends. And what advice would you give these persons? Because a lot of people do not know how to cope with these people. A lot of these persons that are mentally ill, some of them do not comply in taking their medication, and it's so I wouldn't say burdensome on the family members, but since the family members do not know how to cope, how to deal with these persons. I mean, sometimes they just let these persons go because they don't know how to do it. What advice would you give to those persons?
For persons living with mental health issues, we say persons living with mental health issues, these persons can be most times controlled if they take the medication or the counseling. So my advice with them would be ensure that your family member visit the wellness center monthly, and also come in and learn the signs and symptoms of relapse so that you know that something is going on, so you can bring them in before the time. Don't wait for when they have reached the point of relapsing then to come to the wellness center. The reason that they are doing well is because they are taking the medication. So ensure that they come to continue taking the medication so they can remain well. So it's come in. You can come in and talk to the nurse. Make an appointment and come in to talk to the nurse. And we would advise you from there.
Okay. Nurse, I know that I might be straying a little away from the topic, although it's a little bit. Most persons in our community, both young men and young women, sometimes they use substances that might induce a little bit them getting out there, being aggressive, and so on. Um, Especially for our young persons coming up. Is there anything you would like to say to them? Because I know many persons, when they use certain drugs, they tend to, I mean, it really affect their mental health. What alcohol also? What message would you actually give out to those young individuals, especially our young teenagers and our um, adolescent population?
Well, in my work and my time, I've seen a lot of persons who use maybe the marijuana, cocaine, alcohol, and will contribute to the mental illness. Some persons may have started using it to control the mental illness because sometimes they say they had racing thoughts, they couldn't sleep, so they try to self-medicate with the drugs. But in the end, these drugs add on more. Some persons may say that they know so and so and so have smoked for 100 years and nothing happened to them. But we are all different. Our makeup is all different. Some persons have smoked it once and then they're mentally ill for quite a while. So we have to be really careful when it comes to these drugs, alcohol, drugs. These are not a way of coping, and these are not a way of dealing with our issues. With our issues, because most times they may add more problems than to cure what is going on. So it is advisable that as much as possible to stay away from these means of solving problems or these or recreational activities, because they can hinder our mental health.
Um, and this, especially for alcohol, I must admit there are a lot of young people. I mean, they into the binge drinking and so on. And afterwards, you see that they're developing these mental issues, especially for parents. Is there anything you'd like to say to parents? Because I mean, it starts from the home, especially young people start drinking when they're at home, and it continues as they get older, and then you realize all the issues that comes about. Is there any advice you have for young parents that drink themselves and their children start drinking at such an early age? Is there any advice you'd like to give to these parents? Anything that you'd like to say to them so that it can really help parents that see the signs that their children are starting to drink at such an early age and they're already misbehaving, and you can therefore see, especially if they have mental, how should I say it, they already have other persons that have mental health issues in their family.
Okay, let me say our clinics are not only for persons living with mental health issues, our clinics are for everybody. So if somebody has a concern, they can come in. When it comes to the use of alcohol, like I said before, it may start off seeming to solve the problems, but it only makes problems worse. So whatever we do, we have to try to do in moderation. And if we see that our children are picking up the habits, we should try. We have the turning point services where we can bring them in so they can try to stop. Or we do not put the avenues for them to use, because sometimes when we have the parties, we have all of these alcohol at all the parties and stuff. We should maybe try to limit the amount and do other activities that don't involve so much drinking. But you can always come in for help. There's education, there's counseling. Just come into any of the wellness centers and ask about it.
All right. Thank you for that. Hey, it's 10:30 in Super St. Lucia and Eastern Caribbean with you for commercial. We're going to be back with some more Casualty 911. Folks, keep it locked. Short pause.
Casualty 911, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. with the consultant. Health is not merely the absence of diseases. It is your social, economic, physical, spiritual, and mental well-being. Just imagine you on 88.5 Super FM talking, questioning, sharing your experience, information, education, entertainment, news, instructions, advice on diabetes, high blood pressure, strokes, menopause, AIDS, pregnancy, sex.
Sex? Did you say sex?
As prescribed, take your medication, exercise, and diet. On 88.5 Super FM, tell a friend, call your neighbor. Casualty 911 is on.
This is your Sulfur Pulse News Bulletin with Janine Gonzalez.
The Assistant Commissioner of Police, George Nicholas, has addressed questions as to why there were multiple documents from the Office of the Police Commissioner regarding the approval of the Onyx concert, which has since caused much controversy in the public domain. The event, which saw the open carry of a high-power weapon by a police officer who was not part of the security detail, sparked much outrage. The ACP explains that the issue of an event not being approved and the decision being reversed is not uncommon.
I'm also aware of 2 letters being circulated in the public domain, and one showing that the show was not approved, another showing that the show was approved. It's not unusual that we find a change of decision in a matter like this. But in the final analysis, the Commissioner of Police approved the show, having been satisfied that all the conditions as it relates to the event was satisfied.
ACP Nicholas says the only issue there is the leaking of documents from the Office of the Police Commissioner, a matter which has to be addressed.
And that is a matter that the Office of the Commissioner of Police has promised to handle. And as soon as we are able to wrap our hands around it, the Commissioner will provide a further update on that matter.
That was Assistant Commissioner of Police, George Nicholas.
This has been the Sulfur Pulse News Bulletin. Thank you for listening.
Casualty 911, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. with the consultant. Health is not merely the absence of diseases. It is your social, economic, physical, spiritual, and mental well-being. Just imagine you on 88.5 Sufra FM, talking, questioning, sharing your experience, information, education, entertainment, news, instructions, advice on diabetes, high blood pressure, strokes, menopause, AIDS, pregnancy, sex.
Sex? Did you say sex?
As prescribed, take your medication, exercise, and diet. On 88.5 Sufra FM, tell a friend, call your neighbor. Casualty 911 is on.
And we're back. All right, we have 28 and a half minutes onto the hour of 11 o'clock. We're going up until 11. Welcome back inside, Miss Wilson. Likewise, your guest.
Thank you, Ulan. Nurse, I meant to ask a question.
Oh, and if there's anyone on the outside, if you want to make a contribution, remember you're going to call us at 459 7885. All right, that's the number 459 7885.
Or you can
use a cell phone as well. Send us a WhatsApp at 730-5388. Again, 730-5388.
Or you can message us on Facebook.
Yes, Facebook as well.
Okay.
All right.
So, nurse, let me just say this. At what age? I mean, when we talk about mental illness, we more look at the adults and so on, but we don't really focus on children. At what age, if you've seen certain signs in children that definitely you need to take them for some level of counseling, if you see, or what signs when you see that that they probably need counseling or they need to seek that kind of medical attention, especially in children when it comes to mental health, because we only speak about adults, but we're not hearing anything about children. What should we do if we see the children misbehaving excessively, or any signs that they might be showing that they definitely need some form of counseling?
Stress.
For children, I guess when you see the signs, you should take them in. So there's not like an age, you say start from that age to that age. The only thing is that most times they're not given a mental health diagnosis until they reach age 18.
Okay.
They're given a mental health diagnosis. But when we see certain symptoms that we see is outside of the normal, then we should take them in for consultation. Sometimes we look at children, things we may look for is maybe they look at the developmental stages. Maybe sometimes they don't reach the developmental stages as they should. Then you can take them to the Child Growth and Development Center for these things. Sometimes you look at the behavior. We look at the behavior in two places, maybe home and school, or school and church. And if they're overly active, if they can't sit one place, they're easily agitated, they're disturbing, then we can take them in for some sort of assessment. If we find that they stay alone, they don't interact, these are some signs we can look for. Or if they were very bright and very open, and we see that there's a drop in the school work, and we find that now they have no more friends coming over, there's a change in the personality, you check that. So whenever there's a change in the personality, the change in the way they used to behave, that is a thing for concern. We take note of these things.
Nurse, what about in terms of the feeling, like like if they have negative thoughts or feeling about themselves?
Yes, that's another thing too. The self-esteem, we can take them in for some counseling for the negative self-esteem. But then some things we can do from the time the children are small, let them share and nurture healthy mental health habits. Let them know the emotions. They have the right to feel angry. They have the right to feel sad. But it's not necessarily they have the right, but then the response to these feelings, what they do. So sometimes we teach them that, okay, sadness is a feeling. So ask them how you are today. I was there, but Tom didn't talk to me. How did you feel? I felt sad. I felt like crying. So okay. So now they understand what sad is. So, okay, so next time you're feeling sad, instead of trying to cry, let's just sit down, try to breathe, close your eyes, and remember when mommy had take you down to the park. So then that would change the thing from going on into crying and then feeling so sad. They can take themselves to an area, a nice, happy area. They can remember when mother took them to the park. Also, when they're very angry too, So instead of, they know that when they're angry, they start to clench their fists, they start to breathe heavy. So they can stop now, take some deep breaths, and try to take them back to a different spot, a healthy, a happier spot, so that they go and react, say some things or do something that they don't really mean to do.
Because I think if I've looked at a lot of movies and even on persons, you see a lot of children. Other things contributing to that is tension, domestic abuse, separation of parents. You know that has taken a toll on children. You understand? Even death of a loved one. All
Yes,
those
yes.
things might contribute.
Yes, all these external factors contribute to the mental health. So parents have to be aware and especially look for the change in the person's behavior and take them for help. Get help for them.
What's the number for the like the hotline, the help hotline?
The
Is
help
someone?
hotline is
Yeah.
203.
So just dial from any.
Any phone, anything is a free call, 203.
All right.
And another thing we want to um, encourage parents and community members not to do is to tell the children, when the children misbehave or something, or they're seeing signs of the children being aggressive, to tell them, Ukafu, ebe, Chimaisa kafu, because the child's behavior in the community, you heard all the time, Ulan.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I
Yeah.
mean, people don't have to label the children like that, and you hear it a lot in the community, and that's something I think community members should really stop, especially in our own community. Don't tell the children yokafu. I mean, that happens, you hear it all the time, and some people really do not know better. So I think that's one of the things. I mean, in learning about mental health and so on, I think that's one of the things we as community members do not tell people esiokafu, or you just say tima maisakafu it toujours can misbehave, and this kind of stuff. So these are things we really have to stop as community members.
Yes, and I agree with you because we as community members supposed to what support healthy habits. Support, promote positive thinking, be a role model. Respond with love. And we have to spot the triggers, all the little triggers. We need to spot those things and work on them immediately.
That is so true. So
Yeah.
nurse,
Let me
go
say,
ahead,
when
nurse.
saying these words, these are that's what leads into the stigma and discrimination. So that's what's stopping persons from getting help because of these types of behaviors. So this is one thing that we have to really try to stop using these terms. Thank
But
you.
But no, sometimes, I mean, as community members, you don't even know what stigma and discrimination, because I mean, I'm sure if you ask the person of the older generation what stigma and discrimination, some of them might know, some of them might not even know, because I mean they grew up in that community. That is why I mean the awareness now is even more rampant within our region. Well, island wide now. So a lot of persons are now learning these things. So they tend to refrain from doing these things now. Even I too, I mean, as in the profession, it's only now that I am learning so much. You understand? So by going out there, when I see it being done, I can definitely tell people why they shouldn't do this, and at least tell them the reason why they shouldn't do it because of that and that reason. You understand this?
Yes.
So the awareness coming out there is so beneficial that many persons, even within the health profession, I mean, they tend to do these things and they're not even realizing that they're doing it wrong. So I'm so happy that all of that could come out. So, nurse, I will allow you to say what else you want to say to our public out there.
Okay. So let me try to see if I can just bring down the stigma and discrimination. So when we look at it, is anything that you figure that might be make you feel sad or make you feel ashamed of getting help, making somebody feel ashamed of getting help. That's sort of the stigma, and discrimination will be because the person has something is wrong with them, we don't give them the same services as others. But I think that these things will stop if we have mental health awareness. We have to have mental health awareness in the workplace, where we can plan mental health activities, where as a part of the workplace work plan, there's something for staff mental health. Each business and staff should have mental health days or mental health. It should be a topic. And one of the things we're trying to do for this month, we're going to have a mental health motorcade on Thursday, the 27th. We're starting in Castries and we're going on to Wellness Center. So there we're going to stop along the way to give persons information about our services and information about mental health. So that is one of the things we're doing to raise awareness for mental health. Also, this program, we've been using this program also to give information on mental health. This is another way we're trying to raise awareness. And we're going to put up some posters and also have some articles on the government website. So these are what we're trying to do to see what we can do to reduce the stigma and discrimination.
I love that initiative. All right. After all, it's time to break the stigma around mental health once and for all. All right. Of course, encourage more open conversation in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. Listens, share you. If you're a victim of circumstances, you can share your experiences as well. If you feel comfortable, you can ask. Just go ahead.
Like a testimony.
Yes.
Yeah, these things happen, and a lot of people come out now and they discuss it openly. It's not anything persons hide now.
True.
Especially persons that have been battling with different issues like depression, anxiety, and so on. So a lot of people come out and they speak openly about it because the awareness is now there, and it can, by they themselves speaking about it, it can really help a lot of other persons that might be going through it, that might not even be aware that they're going through
Now
it.
I like that. So together we can just come together and help more an accepting environment.
Yeah. And I think
So Wilson, let me stop you there. So we don't say battling with, or we don't say suffering from. We say persons with lived experience or persons living with. Okay, so we don't, because it's not a sufferer or battling. So we say with lived experience or person living with a mental health condition or person living with lived experience depression.
So that was what I was saying, because
language.
Yeah, so that was what I was saying earlier on. I mean, there are so many things that you're learning now, especially terms and phrases you can use when you're speaking about mental health. So thank you again, Nurse. The correction is much appreciated.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm really happy you said that, because I mean, it's always a learning experience. I remember some time back, it was this something was said, and I think you corrected me right there and there about it was some vaccination drive, and this, it prompted about learning a little bit more. And I must admit, now I'll have to learn even more about the phrases, because I mean, I'm always out there in the community.
Now I love your guys came up with the term phrases and all that, because again, with mental health, you have some people will say to you, why don't you act normal? You understand? Instead of saying, like, it seems as if you have an issue or problem, you haven't been yourself as lately, I'm here to listen. We can talk. Let's chat about that, anyway, I can help. You understand those kind of phrases? You understand?
Yes, because like Nurse was saying, I mean, we're not the experts, and by creating awareness, we are better able to speak to these people out there, and that is a good thing about it. You understand? Because not everything you could say to everybody, that battling with some mental health issues, but by saying it the right way, it can really help somebody out.
Imagine you saying to somebody, it's all in your head. There are people that have it worse than you.
That's true.
You understand? Instead of saying, I can understand how difficult this may be for you. I'm sorry, you don't have to go through it alone. I'm here to support you, to those kind of stuff.
Right, Nurse? These are the phrases that we should be using out there.
Yes, or you make me mad, or you make me crazy. We can say, I feel disturbed, I feel annoyed, instead of using these kind of things. Yes, these are things we can do. And when it comes to helping persons, there's a program a course offered by the PAHO WHO Virtual Campus. It's called Psychological First Aid. It shows how to look, listen, and link. So when persons have issue, we look around to see what's going on. We listen to what's going on, and we link them to the different services. So For mental health, we know the services available. We have the hotline 203. We have the different wellness centers. Sometimes we may even have to link them to social services. So we just have to look and listen and link. So that is a course that we should all try to do also psychological first aid.
Oh, psychological first aid. You call it? It's called, nurse.
Yes, psychological first aid. Yes, it's a free course online.
It's on the Power website.
Yes.
And please, when you do that course, you're not automatically an expert in that. Please.
No, it's just
All right.
for day-to-day use.
Yeah, for everyday use. Nurse, what message do you have out there for our listeners before we end our session?
I just want to say mental health is all about us. It's us. All of us have our mental health. All of us have to learn how to take care of our mental health, build our resilience, build our coping skills, and do whatever little we can do to help to stop the stigma and discrimination, to bring awareness to mental health, and also to look out for our motorcade on Thursday, coming along from Castries to Meekwood.
What stops you're going to? Where are you going to stop? In which communities are you going to stop?
We're going to stop in Bexar by the health center and in Denry by the fisheries.
Okay, so it's just over the East Coast and not the West Coast.
Yes, the East Coast first.
Okay. So persons that have been listening, that lives around that area, look out for the motorcade. It's a pity you're gonna do it around the island. I guess it will be a little bit too much for y'all. So again, nurse, thank you so very much for being here with us. Like I said, I know that you will not be in our region for no longer be working in our region. And I was saying earlier on, sometimes you have the skills and the person in our region with the skills and abilities, and sometimes you take persons for granted. It's only when they leave you really get to acknowledge and appreciate all the services that they've been offering in the community. So again, thank you so very much for being instrumental in creating mental health awareness in our region, as well as within our communities, and to persons, especially our loved ones within the community. Your efforts and the work that you do is really appreciative. And again, we cannot say more than what we're saying here today. And we hope that you will continue working in our region when we have activities, and don't be a stranger to our program. If any time that you wish to have any program, feel free. And thank you so very much. And I hope that I continue seeing you in the various regions when I do go out there to work.
Thank you very much for your appreciation. Thank you. I'm smiling. And yes, so although I am not assigned to the region anymore, I'm around. You have my phone number.
Yes,
and it is my intention to still come around from time to time.
Time to time, if time permits.
That's why I say it's my intention.
All right, then. Thank you so very much. Again, you're welcome. Thank you to all our listeners out there. We hope that you make use of our services at our different wellness centers. Again, announcement. Don't forget today at Myers Bridge. Whose place I said again, Ulan?
Oh, you got me off guard.
Myers Bridge. I cannot remember the name of the place. We're going to have the nurse and her team teaching you how to do the self-breast examination. So come in, men and women, come in, and it starts from 6 o'clock. Now, for the love of me, I cannot remember the venue. But when you get to Myers Bridge, once you ask or call the Eaton's Wellness Center, and they will guide you accordingly.
Myers Bridge, not Myers Bridge. That's CES. How you call that place again?
Who's hall? Dance hall? A dance hall, is it?
Oh, I know there's some like a little get together place. Dance all right. I can
No,
pick
no,
one.
no. I can't remember. Well, we can remember. Sorry, my sincere apologies that we can remember the name of the place. But again, Sufra is small. Just call the Eaton's Wellness Center and they will guide you accordingly. All right? And don't forget, pediatric vaccine Pfizer is available. You can go to our wellness center, speak to our nurses, and then they can guide you accordingly.
What do you say, Miles? Not by Trevor, right?
Not by Trevor.
Okay.
Sia's place. Some
Yes,
place.
please. Yeah.
I can recall. My sincere apologies for not remembering the name of the place, but it's somewhere in Myers Bridge. So, thank you so very much, Erlan.
You're welcome anytime.
And thank you so very much, Romanus, for assisting every single day. And all our listeners, do have a pleasant week and take care.
All right, this was Casualty 911. So till next time, God's willing, take good care of yourself and others. Have yourself a fabulous day. Likewise, the week. Hey, you know what? I should just leave you with the thought of the day. I don't know who needs to hear this, but listen. If you choose the job you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life. It may seem difficult to accomplish, but difficult means possible. All right? And if it's possible, why not try? Okay, so as you go on your day, and of course, life journey, find something you love and go after that. All right? Unapologetically. All right? Be inspired, be motivated. Hey, this was Casualty 911. Till next time.
Thank you, Erlan.
Casualty 911, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. with the consultant. Health is not merely the absence of diseases. It is your social, economic, physical, spiritual, and mental well-being. Just imagine you on 88.5 Super FM talking, questioning, sharing your experience, information, education, entertainment, news, instructions, advice on diabetes, high blood pressure, strokes, menopause,